So look, I'm not even gonna lie. When it comes to the American culture and mindset, it's hard for me to shake sometimes. And a lot of times it's through some of the littlest things. But I know for a fact that I need to be better because these little things can lead to big problems. Like, where did that sun just go? Because Pimpin', it just got dark like a mug. And now back 4 years ago when we first moved here, I didn't have a job. So I ended up picking up a job, and I still remember one weekend I replied to an email. And now if this was back in the States, this actually wouldn't have been a big deal. Matter of fact, you're expected to hop on things that seem urgent. I will wholeheartedly say that everything pretty much seemed urgent. For some reason, there was always some kind of emergency going on, even when you know deep down it was an emergency. I mean, to be honest, there was rarely anything that we just could not let slide. It was so rare that something that came in over the weekend couldn't wait till Monday. And this is where a major mindset shift really played a key role, because when I moved here and I replied to that email on the weekend, I think it was a Saturday, I ain't gonna lie, they went in on me on Monday. And I am not talking about in the good way. Man, I got scorned so much by my coworker just for replying to this email on a Saturday. My coworker called me in a meeting with the other girl, and she was just like, look, there's nothing ever that important. Don't ever reply to an email on a Saturday. Don't even log in on a Saturday or a Sunday. And I really remember this specifically because I remember the tone, and I remember the reason why she didn't want me replying to emails, because she was like, if you start replying to emails on a Saturday and Sunday, people are gonna start thinking that we're all gonna reply to every email on a Saturday and Sunday. And then she continued on talking about how that time is meant to be spent with your family and your friends. And I think the last thing she said was like, look, I don't care how it's done in America, you not in America. She was just like, look, I am not replying to nothing on a Saturday or a Sunday. And this is something that I can wholeheartedly understand. I didn't really think about it like that. But then when I thought about the way that I was in America, how for most of my jobs, I believe, I would do my best to appear as a team player, always on the job, always willing to go the extra mile. I was that dude. And man, not for nothing, I hate to admit, but it is really hard to get out of that mindset, because I still mess up today. I was literally told today to make sure to stay offline over the weekend. My coworker was just like, look man, I saw you sending some messages, nah man, nah, it's take it easy, Pippin, take it easy. Oh snap, what is this? I don't think I ever seen this. What is this? He was just like, look man, we are here to keep the lights on. The lights ain't gonna go out on a Saturday or Sunday. There's nothing that important that could happen that's just gonna burn down the company. Yo, I was watching this show the other day. I saw it on Netflix. Man, I was watching that show and I was like, dang, she's the reverse me. She's doing exactly what I did, but in reverse. So too, I'm not gonna lie, that show is actually pretty good. I highly recommend it. Look, this is not sponsored or nothing, but yeah, that show's actually not bad. I've been using it to help me learn my Dutch a bit more. That's really why I'm using it. I'm just super saiyan, okay? So my train just came. That's why all these people are coming this way. I was going back and forth waiting for the train, and now it's here, and it's crazy bad. And I think the worst part of that whole mindset though is the fact that at the end of it all, life has taught me, now I'm gonna just be real, people notice it, but at the end of the day, nobody really cares. And that's the sad part, man. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't work hard, but what I am saying is just be mindful of your time on the weekends, man. Oh man, that was a packed train, man. Wow. Once I took a step back, and the more I live here, the more and more I realize that if you have that mindset and you're going above and beyond all the time, even when it comes to your time, all you're doing is giving your time to somebody else. Somebody else is controlling your time. Versus here, they're actually really good about taking control of their time and how they use their time and spend their time. All those times I went in on the weekends, even brought my son when he was born on the weekends a few times. All those times, all those hours, it could have waited until Monday. And I do want to make myself clear that people here do work on the weekends. It's not like no one is not working. I want to make that clear, because people in the comments be going, be going in on sometimes. So I just, well, look, I'm just super saiyan. And now something else I've been working on is just independence, but also asking for help. Because I've always had this sense of independence, and I think it's because of the way that I grew up. And now, this is kind of a tough one for me to explain, because look, I'm not talking about like handouts or free anything. Like, I ain't talking about that. Like pimping. Look, I grew up south side of Chicago. You gonna get it, you gotta get it out the mud. I mean, and it's just been like that for me for my whole life. So the last thing I'm talking about is like handouts. I ain't talking about that. And now what I am talking about though is when it comes to things like working, like when you're at work, or when something's kind of heavy and you need help carrying it, just stuff like that, like just normal things that people need help with. Because for me, these things are actually really hard. Like it's really hard for me to ask for help, and I'm just keep it real. I would rather just full on just figure it out. And I think it's mostly because my sister and I we kind of grew up where we were always helping other people, and we never really had a chance to ask for help. Her and I we do have this issue, and I see it. It's funny. I notice it the most when I talk to her, and then I look back at myself, and I'm like, dang, I do the same thing. So yeah, it trips me out sometimes when I see people doing certain things together. For example, when I see like the girl riding the guy on the bike, literally she'll be sitting on the seat, and the dude will be sitting on the handlebar. See, man? You know, I guess asking for help just seems like it's just a sign of weakness, and I guess that's how I kind of grew up. It is hard to ask for help, especially when you're just not used to asking for help out of your entire life. You're just not used to it. But this is a mindset I am trying to change, because literally last week, which is what gave me the idea for this video, last week, I took my kids to the zoo. And a woman asked me if I needed help taking the stroller off the train, because we bring the stroller. My oldest one, he's cool, but my youngest one, sometimes he gets sleepy. Y'all know how it is. So I had my youngest one in the stroller, holding my oldest one's hand. I'm trying to like lift my youngest one with one arm in the stroller and hop and get him off the train. And this woman was really like, oh, you need help? And I just kept saying no. Don't know why I kept saying no, but just kept saying no, I got it. Okay, it's okay, I'm good. And no joke, it got to a point where she just looked at me and she was like, look, it's okay. And this is what I mean, man. It was so nice to just hear her just say, it's okay. And then just help me carry the stroller with my youngest one off the train. Like it was just something so nice about it. Like, it has nothing to do about how strong or weak I am. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just sometimes you just need some help. Just earlier today, I saw a girl and a guy carrying groceries together, but one person had one side of the bag and the other person had the other side of the bag, and they were carrying this huge bag of groceries together. Yo! And then I think the hardest mindset shift, especially for Americans just living abroad in general, would have to be the idea of rest. And I don't know why this is such like a part of the American culture, and it's like ingrained in us as much as that American flag. But the idea of resting is a foreign concept, because it is highly looked down upon in America. And you see it like everywhere. You see it on social media, you see it in the news, you see people openly bash other people for not wanting to work 20-hour days, labeling these people as lazy and even ungrateful, because how dare you not want to work like 20-hour days when you have a job while other people are getting laid off. You know what I mean? Like, that's the mindset. And look, I get it, because hey, I wouldn't even be making this video if I wasn't having a hard time with it myself. I do have a hard time just resting without like not feeling bad, or resting and not feeling guilty. I mean, the concept of rest is just looked so down upon in America and in American culture. And I do struggle with that. I do struggle with just needing some time to let my body just relax. And like a lot of Americans, I love working. I love seeing progress. Like, I do pimping. I love the hustle. And just like a lot of Americans out there, I feel bad. Like, for real, I do feel bad when I'm not doing nothing. Like, pimping, it's hard for me not to do nothing. Like, just nothing. It's hard, but at the same time though, I have days where my body needs to rest. Take a break, get off the Skypachinos for a minute, and just chill. And this is definitely just a part of the American culture. Matter of fact, I was on Instagram the other day and I saw one of the saddest things I've seen in a long time. And this post was of a girl who passed away just because she was just so overworked. Like, no joke, she was young, a lot younger than me. And yeah, she was an entrepreneur who owned her own business, and she was working like 7 days a week, putting in 20-hour days, 15-hour days, just stupid amount of work. In her post, and like a lot of her posts before she passed away, she kept saying how tired she was. And when you look at the comments, you could see people like, nah, you got it, nah, you know, the grind is real, you know, keep doing what you're doing, you making it, you doing it. And it got to a point where I believe she was just trying to take the weekend off or something like that, and she ended up taking the weekend off and just died in her sleep, like taking a nap, passed away. And this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I mean. Like, you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta get some rest. But rest is seen as such a negative thing in the States that it is hard to set boundaries for yourself to rest. And whether it's internal, meaning like the way I feel when I'm not doing nothing, or just your friends and family and other people telling you that you're not doing enough. And we didn't even talk about the fact that things are kind of getting out of hand. A whole bunch of layoffs are going on, and you gotta get these bills paid, you know, so you might need to work 2 to 3 jobs. Like, this is a thing. This is like normal now in America. So setting these boundaries to rest is getting a lot harder. But I will say it is something much needed, and it's something that I'm actively working on. And something else too, actually, speaking of much needed, pimping, I know y'all want that cookie. Go ahead, get down that cookie. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's my favorite one, but I'll still share. Because we on that Wi-Fi. Oh man, I don't know what just happened, but dang, stopped in to grab a Skypuccino, and now look, it's a bit dark. I don't know where that sun went. Like, it's still hot, but it's dark, man. Gee. And although I do struggle shifting my mindset, and I mean, because the brainwashing was strong, I am gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep smiling and just doing what I need to do to be better about these things. But in the meantime, though, go ahead and check out this video right over there. You know you want to. Go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, you check that one out. I'm sure we will finally be on that Wi-Fi.